Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we discuss all things gaming. I'm RJ.
I'm Crimson.
And I'm Caleb.
So, just a couple announcements here. Due to the upcoming holidays, as we all know, we're heading into Thanksgiving. We have been a bit behind on our recordings and uploading schedule, so we apologize for the late episode. And the future episodes going into the holidays. So we'll be sporadic on and off. Once we get past the new year, though, we should be back on schedule as normal. So we've had some awesome experiences this week and can't wait to discuss what we've been doing this week with you guys. We are going to do something a little different this week and have a broader discussion about microtransactions. So kind of a little bit of what are they, how are they done well, and some of the other stuff to go along with that. But first, what have we been playing this week? Caleb, what have you been up to?
I've actually crammed a good bit of different games into a very short amount of time. Obviously, been playing Destiny 2 with you guys on and off throughout the week, but I did get to test out Alexstrasza in Heroes of the Storm today. She is a lot of fun. She has a very distinct playstyle that we haven't really seen before, where she sacrifices her own health to heal her teammates, but she also is a really solid damage dealer that can also transform into a dragon and has a whole new slew of abilities. So she's a lot of fun. I can't wait to rank her up and really dive into her. I did get to try Moira in Overwatch today, just to kind of test her out against like AI. She's ridiculous. Wow, did they even play test her? She is like the love child of Zenyatta and Symmetra, what with a little sprinkling of Mercy in there. Like, she's so versatile and she does so much damage while also being able to keep her team healed. So cannot wait to test her out some more and really find some crazy combos. I did have an instance where my Zarya on my team popped her ultimate to pull in 4 of their of the enemies into the gravity well, and I popped my ultimate and just Kamehameha'd them straight to death, while keeping my team healed through it. So that was pretty exciting, and can't wait to try her out some more. I have been playing kind of a hidden co-op gem that I've had for a good while, but just now got to try it, and it's Homefront the Revolution. So it's up to 4-player co-op. It is not in the campaign. It is a single-player campaign, and then it has a co-op mode called Resistance Mode. Now, this reminds me of like Far Cry 3 with a little bit of like Insurgency and Left 4 Dead. It's got a ton of different games sprinkled into it, and it feels really good. It has 0 microtransactions for the like loot boxes in the game. You just get in-game cash for playing missions. Even if you fail missions, you still get money and experience. So, like, we ended up failing it probably a good 40 times on the first mission over 3 days before we ever completed it. And I ended up getting rank 4. I got a whole bunch of new weapons just because it does still reward you regardless of if you win or not, or if you complete the mission. The missions are really long. They're 30 to 45 minutes depending on your pace. The weapons are all interchangeable within their tier, so if you unlock the mine launcher, which is what I ended up getting, I did not know this, but it is in the same tier as the assault rifle, so on the fly in missions, you can hit your X key to bring up your customization menu, and then you can choose a variant and literally pull your receiver and barrel off and put a new receiver and barrel on. So if you're about to breach a building, you can switch to your assault rifle. If you're about to be in the open and be taking on tanks and armored cars, you can switch to the mine launcher and go anti-vehicle. So it's a very fun, very versatile game. It has skill trees where you can really tailor your play style. You get skill points, and it's really good. It's just a really, really solid co-op game, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody talked about it when it came out. So it seems like it kind of flew under everyone's radar, and people should look at it. It's really cheap. Like, it's $30 right now, but it usually goes on sale for like 10 or under. I know, like, on Kinguin, they're selling it for like $8.11. So if you want to pick up a new co-op game for the holidays, check it out. It's up to 4-player co-op, tons of versatility. There's 11 co-op maps, and it's really fucking difficult. Really difficult. Like, you are going to fail so many times before you even complete the first mission. So there's tons of content and tons of replayability. And that's on normal difficulty, by the way.
Do what? It sounds like that is harder than the raid boss in Destiny.
It's harder than the whole raid in Destiny. And that was actually something I was discussing with you guys earlier, was that I have done the raid in Destiny 2, and it was very difficult and oftentimes frustrating. But with Homefront: The Revolution, the very first mission that we played, it was... I mean, we were literally team wiping on the very first encounter, which is just attacking a convoy or a patrol. And it's that difficult. Like,
I mean, to be fair, if one was trying to do that in real life, that's still pretty rough, even in a guerrilla tactics sort of setting. So that doesn't surprise me if they're going for that level of realism.
Yes, and that was actually what struck me, was that you are a resistance cell. So when you are attacking because you're attacking the Chinese that have invaded. So they have, auto tanks and drones and all this high technology stuff, and they have infinitely better weaponry than you do. So you have limited ammo, you do way less damage than they do. I mean, they've got like auto shotguns and light machine guns and all sorts of stuff, and you're like, yeah, I got this little unmodified M4 and a pistol. So it really drives home that guerrilla tactics. Like, you have to choose your engagements, and you have to plan it on the fly, because there's some objectives that are like, oh yeah, you have to get to this convoy before they leave the zone and destroy it, otherwise you fail the mission. So it's very fluid, very fast-paced, but you have to be tactical. And it's great. You also can loot the bodies of the guys that you kill to get parts and to get ammo, and then you can use those parts to craft grenades in the mission. So it's just... And you can revive your teammates just like in Left 4 Dead or Far Cry 3 or anything like that. It really has the full co-op experience. And I was blown away, especially for a game that nobody's really looked at.
Huh, that's really interesting, because that's one of the things that I feel I've been missing when I play other games similar to that, like in Far Cry 3. To me, that survival and realism aspect of it fell really flat in Far Cry 3. There's this, like, I don't even see the point of having C4 or those landmines that you can lay around, except for one specific mission that I just happen to use them on. So I'm definitely interested, and I'd be willing to give this one a go, because that sounds like it's right up my alley.
Definitely. And it even has the takedown, the actual takedown animations of Far Cry 3. So, like, when you sneak up on a guy, or even if you just run right up to their face, if you hit your melee button, you will actually, like, kick their gun aside and stab them up through the chin, or stab them in the eyeball, or stab them in the ribs, or whatever. Like, it has several takedown animations, but it actually has them. And it's developed by Deep Silver, which did Dead Island and Saints Row.
So, okay, so it's got a co-op. Does it have online play? Does it have story campaign?
It does have a single-player campaign that I believe is fairly long. I haven't got to dive into that yet. My dad has. He's actually the one that started playing it and was like, hey, you guys should check this out. And he really likes it. It's supposed to have kind of open world aspects in the single player. So I need to dive into that and really see what it has to offer, but it does not have any sort of multiplayer for like adversarial stuff. It is strictly single player and co-op, and it is online co-op, so you can play with anyone around the world. And so far, it performs really well. It has had a couple of weird little glitches, nothing like game breaking, but like I've gotten stuck a couple of times, or specifically, I died and then somebody came to revive me, and my knife was sticking through the barrel of my gun, and like it wouldn't go away. So when you melee again, I actually pulled the knife out of my gun and then knifed somebody. So just kind of stuff like that. But overall, it performs really well. It has great co-op. So far that I've heard, it has really great single player too. The only complaint I've heard for the single player is that the like actual ending is hidden in DLC. But there are no microtransactions other than the DLC packs.
Now, when you pulled your knife out of your gun and killed somebody, did you stick the knife back in the gun?
No, actually, I put it back in my belt.
Oh.
But I do have several screenshots of like me sprinting and the knife is just right through the barrel. It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
But that's pretty much all I've been playing. And hopefully over this next week, with the holiday coming up, I'll be able to get in a little bit more time with Heroes and Overwatch, and definitely some Homefront. RJ, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing Destiny 2. I'm not going to lie, having been behind for a bit and slowly starting to catch up with everybody, I've definitely noticed that I've caught the Destiny 2 bug. But we'll get into that later. So I've been, in my free time, I've been doing Destiny 2 this week. But yesterday, I actually got to participate in an L5R LCG card game tournament at our local card shop in town, Metagames. And I won't get into too many of the specifics because I would like to talk about those on WTFFG on our next installment. But the Spark Notes is I had a great time. It was awesome to play with other people, especially from out of town, and play the game in person and get some more of the mechanics under my belt and really just get out there and see cards, because we really are dealing with such a small card pool right now for that game. But I ended up coming in second with only 2 core sets. So I'm still on the fence. I'm leaning towards staying in, and I kind of have a strategy going for how I'm going to continue to play this game. But yeah, it was a blast, and huge shout out to my friend Mason, who came down from Kansas City to play with us. So that was awesome. So that's honestly, it's been Destiny 2 and just that tournament last week. So not much on my end.
Well, I guess I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2. Like, a lot of Destiny 2. Like, to the point where I might actually need to go to therapy because I've been playing so much Destiny 2.
You said it, not us. I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of worried about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I did take an hour off.
Oh, an hour.
No, yes.
Wow.
An hour.
Did it hurt? Did it physically hurt you?
It kind of
Okay.
did. It really kind of did. There's been a couple mods for 7 Days to Die that have been popped up that people are talking about. And one, Starvation, which is a full conversion mod. Well, not conversion, but it's literally a new game. And it adds like hundreds of different items to craft. It also adds a crap ton of animals into the game that will kill you every 5 seconds. And it is a brutal, brutal game mode. I would consider it to be hardcore style. And then there's War of the Walkers, which adds like classes to the game. So when you start, you'll choose a class, and you'll have some things that are restricted from you building until you've learned them through magazines and stuff like that. And you will get some additional items too that weren't in the game before that you can craft. What got me interested in it is that there is a launcher out there. Now, I just had to Google search for it. I don't know the name of the launcher. But what it does is it takes all the top rated mods, like conversion mods, and gives you a list, and you can install them, and it will copy your 7 Days to Die folder instead. So that way it's not ever affecting your main 7 Days to Die. So when you want to play 7 Days to Die with your friends and they don't have the mod, you just start 7 Days to Die. If you want to play the modded version, you launch it through this launcher, and it starts a duplicate instance of the game where it can make changes without affecting the main files.
That's actually super handy.
Yeah, it really is. Now, it did require a lot of copying and some space because it does copy the game folder twice. But it was real fun, and I played War of the Walkers, and I had a blast. It is definitely a little harder. The zombies have a larger aggro radius, and they are a little bit more attentive to sounds. So they definitely aggro a little bit better, but it actually feels more realistic. Like, you're not going to walk up behind a walker in this one. Also, they're quieter. They're more like the Walking Dead zombies, where they're real quiet until they're on you, then they're real loud.
Oh, like the one where he's crawling. It's crawling through the field, and it jumps up and gets Dale, and it's like, well, didn't see that coming.
Spoilers.
I mean, that's been out for
8 years.
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
If you're not on the Walking Dead train by now, we've come leaps and bounds from that, and it's much like Game of Thrones. A lot of people die, so yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the walkers are much quieter. They are more sneaky, it feels like. So I did have a blast with that. Now, Destiny 2. I got all 3 classes. All of them are at about 290 now. I've had a blast playing all of them. Every class has its own niche, and it feels fun to play. Like, I did Hunter last not because I don't like Hunter. I didn't think it'd be my playstyle, but it is extremely fun and gratifying. Although I never use my class ability because I forget to dodge all the time. But I do like some of the supers, like that Arc Strider is so good.
Wait. Did I just hear somebody say they like Hunter?
Well, I like them all. Titan's still the best, by far.
Fair enough.
You're never going to beat Striker Titan.
I've actually seen a pretty solid argument for the Void Titan. That dude was giving us so much fucking trouble in PvP because he would give his whole team an overshield, and we just couldn't kill him.
That's the only Titan I don't play is the Void Titan.
Gotcha. It's definitely a different.
I just never got into the Void one.
But
yeah, it's very different from the other two.
Yeah. I am glad to see...
Or the other two are very different.
Yeah, and I am glad to see that people are warming up to Hunter, because, that was my main, and, a lot of my friends gave me shit for playing Hunter. They're like, you're playing the shit class, we gotta carry you through stuff, and it's like, no, actually, I'm generally carrying everybody else, because I do more damage, and I can go invisible and then revive them.
You know what the problem with Hunter is?
That
this is an easy problem. Yeah, this is an easy problem that they will fix, and I know they will. It's the fact that other than maybe 1, maybe 2 exotics, none of the other exotics drastically change your character. None of them are like, huge changes to the playstyle. Most of them just enhance the playstyle of the Hunter.
Yeah.
Where Orpheus Rig, does change the playstyle. It makes you use that super every time you got it. But for the most part, I think their exotics are a little subpar from the glitz and glamour that we expect, like you get with, a Skull Fort, or that you get with, the
Winter's Guile versus Karstein's amulet.
Yeah, exactly. those change play styles. I think you're going to see in this next expansion, I think you're going to see a drastic increase of good hunter exotics. Yeah. I think that's going to get a big influx into that. But yeah, I've just been enjoying it, and I will go more into Destiny 2 in our Destiny 2 segment. But first, let's jump into the news. We have a little bit of news today. EA turns off loot boxes for Star Wars Battlefront 2 for now. And yes, that was EA's words, for now.
So I love the fact that it is actually relevant to our segment, which is microtransactions, that they have turned off loot boxes for now. So
let me explain what's going on. First off, huge outcry by everyone about these microtransactions. Battlefront 2 has not done the sales EA wants it to do, and it is obviously that they are concerned going into the holiday season that people are not going to want to pick up the game because of the bad press of, hey, yeah, go buy this $60 game and then pay $500 in microtransactions just to play it. And that's huge. And it's bad. Like, it's really bad. And, I'm not going to give DICE a bunch of crap because this is not DICE's fault. DICE came out and straight up said, we were literally forced to put this in here. The developers of Battlefront, they're like, we didn't want to put it in. We were told by EA, either put it in or they won't release the game. That simple.
I would have said,
and so they had to put
we're not releasing the game then. Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah. Now you paid us for the game, and you're not releasing it.
Yep. And so the problem that people are concerned with is as soon as the holiday season's over, it's like, oh, turn back on the microtransactions. And this brings us into our microtransactions segment. I will sit back for just a moment and let the more intelligent people who are more calm talk first.
I don't know about that, because
that would be RJ or Kale.
This stuff pisses me off. So RJ, why don't you dive in first?
Okay, well, just recently, like we've been throwing this term around, microtransactions, and I wasn't really too familiar with the word, although I could figure out what it meant. But it's essentially you are spending real money in a game to get additional in-game content. So let's just start with that blanket definition. There's many games, and this is really where I personally have noticed the video game industry shift since I started playing. Because when I started playing video games, I had a Nintendo 64. I bought the console, I bought a game, and I had the game, all of the game data right there in front of me, and I played the game. And if I wanted a new game, I had to buy a new game. Stone Age. Seems fine. But now we've got games that are free to play. And, well, when you think about it from a business modeling standpoint, all right, we're going to spend all of this time and effort and money on the back end to make a game that we can give to the public for free. With the premise of, well, this game is free to play, so, well, let's just download it and play it. Now you run into the question of, okay, how do I make money as a company? So enter microtransactions, where you pay real money to get something. And there's several different ways that this can be done well in a broad sense. So like I just mentioned with the free-to-play games, that's a good business model where, I don't know, you can focus on the aesthetics and it kind of turns into less pay to win and stuff like that. But you could also have something very risky where you have a high price point game like Star Wars Battlefront 2 here, and your gameplay depending on microtransactions. That is really risky. And as we've seen in the news with what you guys just mentioned, it is really having a huge backlash. So that's kind of how we're going to frame this discussion. And please feel free to jump in with thoughts or anything about that.
Oh, well, and to give kind of a history, like you did there too, it is important to look back and see where this started and where it developed from. Originally you buy a video game and you'd buy like Warcraft 1. You play the game and you're done. You go buy another video game. Then you got stuff like Diablo 2. You play the game, you enjoy it, you play online. You don't have to pay for it. Battle.net was completely free. And then, oh, look, Diablo 2 expansion pack. Okay, well, I'll spend $30, $40, buy the expansion pack. It adds onto my game. And that was always fine because it gave you a broad amount of content for that price value. Then you also had EverQuest and World of Warcraft, where they constantly updated the game, gave you new content, but there was a monthly fee of $15 to access the servers and to receive that content. These are kind of the beginning steps of microtransactions. What really happened and what really pushed microtransaction was the advent of the iPhone. When the iPhone came out, there was games on there. You can remember back and Flappy Bird and other, Angry Birds and all these different free games, and they would run ads in them. And then a couple people started going, well, what about if we did a free game and then charged people $1 to get, a different character. So instead of a Flappy Bird, you got a Flappy Fish or something. Or, instead of red birds, you have blue birds, whatever. And so that's really when microtransactions started, and then they evolved rapidly beyond that. There's been games out there where it's free to play, and they're charging $2-3 a loot box to get a random item that's not always cosmetic. And then we just recently started seeing blockbuster games that cost $60 to play, and they have microtransactions in them. Obviously, examples would be Battlefront, Overwatch. So that's the state that we're in now, is that we're paying for the game, and then there's still microtransactions inside the game.
Destiny 2 also has microtransactions and is a $60 game.
Yep.
Now, obviously, their microtransactions are a touch different, but they still have microtransactions where they don't really need them because it's a $60 game with expansion packs, which we'll get into in a bit, and microtransactions. Don't get me wrong, I love Destiny 2, but this definitely felt like a weird way to do it, because generally, a game that is doing microtransactions will go, oh hey, we're doing microtransactions so that that will fund this expansion, but the expansion is going to be free, or something to that effect. Usually, if there's a paid expansion, they're going to have no microtransactions. If it definitely was an odd way, it is specifically for me, to charge the highest price point, $60, plus do microtransactions, plus charge for DLC, and they're charging really high for the DLC content, for the expansions. So there's a lot of games that are really doing this, and they're kind of, it almost feels like, kind of like what you were saying about DICE, that they're just forced to put it in. And I get that, because Activision, EA, they're forcing the developers to put it in. But it feels so shoehorned in that it's almost out of place. And it doesn't feel like it works to what the game is trying to do.
So let's talk about the different types of microtransactions that there can be. And in this one, hey, let's have a discussion. Everybody just open their mics. Let's just talk about the different types. Sure. Name off a couple. I'll name off one. DLC.
Okay. Loot boxes.
Packs, like Magic the Gathering packs, Eternal packs, Hearthstone packs, stuff like that.
Okay. Sure. Founder packs.
Okay, yeah. Also, characters. Like Here's the Storm, League of Legends, StarCraft.
Pre-order bundles.
Yes, and with those pre-order bundles, you've got the added exclusive in-game content. You can pre-order Destiny 2 right now, and you'll get a cold heart.
That's
exclusive.
It's only good for the fucking raid boss.
So these are the types of deals or of transactions. Some of these aren't even micro, man. So these are just the types of transactions they have. Now let's really think about this. Which ones are okay and which ones aren't, and what makes it okay and what makes it not okay. I'll be first up. Anytime I have to pay for progression or equipment, you've lost me. I do not think either one of those are okay.
Yeah, because it turns into pay to win at that point, like with Battlefront 2.
It really does. I find cosmetics completely okay. I'm okay with cosmetics being in microtransactions. What I really hate, and Caleb, you'll know a little bit about this.
What's that?
Is, and you played this game, Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
So what they do is enemies that you kill in the game will drop a loot box. Then you have to pay $1.25 to unlock the loot box, and you might get a ship. Now, a ship is a huge fucking deal in that game. But here's the thing: is like, I'm not gonna joke, man. I've spent $500 trying to get a ship.
Damn.
I mean, it's insane. Some of those the drop rates, they set them super high. It's unbelievable, and this is the kind of stuff that just becomes unacceptable.
Yeah.
And now, so, I mean, in the end, it's like, okay, so the pre-order bonuses, I don't mind if they're universal. Mm. I do not like exclusive pre-order bonuses. I think exclusive pre-order bonuses are crap. You are just trying to get me to buy your game 3 times. Yep. And that is bullshit. I don't mind DLCs. Like, a $15 DLC pack, and it's going to, give us another storyline like Fallout. Think of Fallout. Yes. Love that kind of DLC. Well, that's a great DLC.
The thing with those DLCs, and again, we're kind of jumping back to when DLCs were good. Because, I remember buying the DLCs for Fallout, and I'm like, oh my god, this gives me, another 6 hours of content. And it's all good content that has a really great storyline that also progresses the rest of the game. So all the new items and new skills and everything else that I get out of that DLC while playing it carries over into the base game when I go back and into the next DLC that I play.
And here's the thing, is you generally bought that DLC after you played the game and beat the game. Or it came out, a month or two after the game was released, gave you time to beat the game, and then here's a reason to come back to this game. Mm-hmm. Day one DLC, not ever fucking acceptable. Nope. Ever.
Mass Effect 3 did that shit, and it pissed me off.
If you can't put it on the disc, or if you put it on the disc and you don't give me access to it, you're stealing money from me, period.
Yeah, Mass Effect 3 did that with the Prothean guy, which was actually, like, somewhat essential to the game and to the storyline, and they're like, oh, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're going to go day one DLC. Now it's included when you buy the game. You get a code for it. And what that was supposed to do was discourage anyone from selling the game. And I'm like, now you're fucking over a whole nother group of people and a whole nother market. And
it's stupid. It is an unacceptable form of control.
It is. And we've seen this with speaking of with the control of, like, with Destiny 2, of saying, hey, you don't have these chat functions because this is the way we want you to do things. You give me the game, but you don't...
Dude, I would pay for chat functions.
Don't tell us... don't try to police our actions by not giving us the opportunity to use those actions. And I feel like a lot of these microtransactions kind of do that same thing. They go, no. we don't want you to play it this way. We want you to buy these things so that you can play it our way. Kind of like what was it? Deus Ex, the second one, Mankind Divided. It had a day one or a week one DLC that actually has the real ending in it. And it's like, you guys are literally fucking over your customers who are spending $60 for a game.
So, in the end, we've narrowed down different types of microtransactions and what we do and what we don't like. We don't like day one DLC. We don't like pre-order exclusives. We don't mind pre-order. I mean, sure, as long as it's not game-breaking an item, I don't mind pre-order bonuses. I don't mind DLC in general. So the big one comes to packs, loot boxes, that sort of thing. I don't mind packs because generally they're card games. That's how they work.
No, I definitely agree with that. To me, like with Magic, I always get so much satisfaction with, hey, I want a booster pack. Just roll the odds, see what I get. Oh, I got something really cool. Well, maybe I'll get another one. And really the same thing applies to Eternal. I love cracking packs in Eternal. So
you get so many.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But there, you said it. Because Eternal is a free-to-play game you get rewarded by playing the game by getting packs. Well, to me there, I don't really see, because of that mechanic and how the game is designed, I don't see how I need to spend money for that game because I accumulate in-game currency, I get packs, I feed that I don't know, that tick, that thing, that instance that makes something fun. I get to feed that.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent real money on
Yes, I have. And I bought the Founders Pack.
So even with them throwing all that free stuff at you, you still took it upon yourself to spend your cold, hard, desperately needed cold cash onto a game that's giving you so much for free. Isn't that amazing?
It is, and it's actually quite fascinating.
When they're not trying to just nickel and dime you, you feel more likely to buy stuff from them because you trust them.
And on that note of Eternal, because I haven't spent a ton of money on it, but I've spent over $100. I would say at least one.
Spent enough.
You, I know, Crimson, have spent a shitload because you bought boxes and boxes and boxes. But the thing about Eternal,
let's not even talk about Hearthstone.
Well, actually, let's compare the two real quick in just one instance. In Hearthstone, which of course is a drastically different game, but you pay $2 to get 5 cards, whereas in Eternal you pay $1 to get, 11 cards?
Yeah, something like that in Eternal, yeah.
And with Eternal...
But...
Go ahead.
Eternal, you do have 11 cards, 5 cards in the Hearthstone pack. And I think generally you shouldn't be buying packs by themselves. You can roughly guess that a pack in a group is going to cost you $1.50, so 50 cents more. But you do always get a rare in that 5 cards, where you also only get a rare in the 11 cards.
True.
I mean, you are going to get more commons and less rares in the Eternal way, but because Eternal only charges you $1, it equals out even better. Well, you just end up with more commons.
Well, and it's when you can buy a box for $25, I think it is, in Eternal, or you buy
instead of 7.
Yeah, instead of 7, and it's such a big difference. And again, with Eternal, how they do their model of, hey, they give me a pack for winning 1 match a day per day. I can play against
a new
pack of the recent set, not this fucking Hearthstone shit where they're like, I'm going to give you a classic pack for winning 17 games in a row without losing in ranked mode. Why?
A brawl once a week.
Yeah, a brawl once a week that's never fun. I think I've had 1 fun brawl.
We've had about 3.
And we've been playing Hearthstone for a long time.
But
Yeah, in fact, last month was the first time I ever did not get the monthly card back.
Mm-hmm.
So I
What
think
was that, RJ?
I think what you're saying then is it kind of comes back to that game design. How well is your game designed that that you want your players to spend their money to get that and not feel bad about it? So I think this is a good opportunity to move into kind of looking at how microtransactions are done well, and we've really highlighted Eternal to start with. I'm gonna
But before we jump into that, I do want to go into the actual loot box, which is kind of what's spurring on this conversation.
Yes, go for it.
First off, RJ, what do loot boxes? Yes or no?
In general,
Just in general.
I'm leaning towards no.
Same.
Caleb,
Same. I fucking hate loot boxes.
I'm 100% no.
Yeah.
Even if they are strictly nothing but cosmetics. And the reason why is and here we go, guys. So if you got small kids listening, well, first off, don't. You should never have small kids listening to this podcast.
Ever.
But not safe for work moment coming on. I fucking hate loot boxes. I fucking hate the fact that it's gambling in every fucking form on the planet.
My God.
There's no fucking true thing other than the fact that it is literally fucking gambling to every extent of every nerve in my body. I mean, literally, it is fucking gambling. I played so many games with loot boxes, and it's like, you know, if you just gave me the option to buy the fucking item I wanted instead of a loot box, you would get my $15. I would buy the fucking skin. I would buy the fucking ship. I would buy the freaking vehicle in Destiny instead of these fucking loot boxes and getting fucked in the ass every fucking second. Fuck.
And
fuck you and your loot boxes.
And on that specific note, I want to point out, and we're going to dive into this a little bit more when we talk about Overwatch, of how loot boxes are not done well. But I have done this a couple of times where I've spent $50 during an event to try and get one or two specific skins that I really, really wanted. And I didn't get them. And I'm like, what the fuck? I spent $50 and I wasn't even getting the shit. None of the shit I wanted. Half the stuff I got wasn't even for the fucking event. So I stopped buying loot boxes for the game. I just don't care anymore. And so they have actually lost a customer. I'm sure they've lost several because of this, but like when we had the Halloween event, this last one, I really wanted the Van Helsing McCree skin and the Viking Torbjorn skin. I didn't buy any loot boxes because I knew if I spent $50, that's $50 I needed for important things, but that I wasn't going to get what I wanted in the first place. If they would have said, hey, the McCree skin is $10 and the Torbjorn skin is $10, they would have got $20 for me right then. But instead, because of the gambling, they're fucking over their customers because of the gambling, and people are just throwing money at a game that they're not getting anything out of. But we'll dive into Overwatch's bullshit later.
Yeah.
But I hate the loot box system.
It's gambling. It's literally gambling. So I'll let RJ go into it. He's going to talk about a couple games that do it pretty well.
Well, and specifically,
I would say one of these is questionable. One of these is questionable to me.
And we do get to hit on how Heroes of the Storm actually does loot boxes well. Because they don't matter.
So,
go ahead.
Let's talk about these other three first.
Okay. Go so ahead. we're going to talk about Heroes of the Storm last then. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to start with League of Legends. There are no loot boxes. The way that League of Legends does their microtransactions are you can buy your skins, but okay, let me rewind. You get in-game currency. You can use that in-game currency to buy your characters, but to buy your characters, you could also spend real money. That's where the microtransaction is. If you play the game long enough and get enough in-game currency, then you don't have to worry about it. Skins, on the other hand, those are purely aesthetic, and you do have to spend real money to get those. And League of Legends is a free-to-play MOBA game and is arguably the most popular competitive MOBA. I'm not going to lie, I've spent plenty of time over the past couple of years watching World Championships and all of the different competitions, the North American Championship, the European Championship, watching the meta evolve, watching how the new heroes go, and all that jazz. So it's arguably one of the most popular MOBA games. But in there, because the skins are purely aesthetic, I'm like, sure, I don't have to have this skin, but I'm going to buy it because it's freaking cool. When you have a character like Pantheon, who picture a Spartan from like Leonidas style Spartan, when he has a skin where he is a baker and they're poking fun at that joke, yes, they are poking fun at that joke, and it is awesome. There is literally a skin for a baker Pantheon where his Hoplon is a butter knife, and his shield is... I'm sorry, the Hoplon is the shield. His shield is a piece of bread, and his dory, the spear, is a butter knife. It is amazing. Oh my gosh.
So we're just going to stop after each one of these three and just real quickly, sorry about that, real quickly rate them. I would say League of Legends is easily an A to an A+ on their microtransactions. You never feel like you're required to ever spend money, but you want to spend money because you do want that skin, but it's not going to affect the game in a whole.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What's your rating on this?
I would also agree. I would give it an A+, and in all honesty, right up there with Eternal, I would almost put this one as sort of the gold standard.
Yeah, I actually have to agree. And as much as I dislike League of Legends, I cannot fault them for their microtransaction system, because this is something they really got right. And again, as RJ just said, right up there with Eternal. I think, as much as I hate to say this, I think this is actually S rank for me, because you do not have to spend money.
I agree. Actually, yeah, there we go. I will consider that an S rank. Now let's move on to the next game.
Okay, I guess I'm going to do all of these then. So with...
Yep, take it, Sam.
I mean, I can do it.
Okay, I mean, yeah, go for it.
I don't mind doing this one. Next one's StarCraft 2. Now, StarCraft 2 is unique. It's more of a hybrid. It allows you to spend real money to get voice announcers for the game. You can spend real money for commanders in the co-op version, and you can spend real money for the expansion, little almost DLC-like mission packs, and they do have a lot of content, and they are worth the amount of money that they're asking for. The other thing is you can buy skins for your units. So I have no problem with the little DLC, the like Nova Ops mission. I think that's perfect. And I bought it, and I've never felt regret buying it. The commanders, I do like the fact that now they are all free to play up to level 5, so you can play with them and decide, hey, this one's for me, this one's not, then buy it. The voice announcers, that's purely, cosmetic. I love it. If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. Me, Diva all the way. The one I do have a problem with is skins, because they charge like $250 per skin. It is a little expensive for a skin, but you know what? You don't have to buy it. So I would say that this is either B+ or A- for me.
I have to agree. And also, now that they have gone to the hybrid free-to-play model, also the first campaign is free. But the second and third ones you do still have to buy. You can usually get them for very cheap. So that kind of helps a little bit, but they're really trying to get people into the game, so they're giving away more free content. They're allowing people to play more co-op with all the commanders. The commanders are only $5 a piece, and you get so much value out of them. I have bought, I think, 3 now, and I regret none of it. because I have spent so much time playing those characters, and the progression system really just kind of accents that by going, hey, you paid $5 for me, you're going to be playing me for good 50 hours at least. So I've got to give it probably an A-, only because the skins are really expensive. Again, they are just cosmetic, but they are expensive. And also the fact that the other two campaigns are not free to play, so you are still going to spend money on the storyline. But I feel like this is definitely a good way for them to go, because they're not doing the loot box system. They are purely saying, you can pay for this content, you do not have to. But if you want to try this stuff out, you still get to play a ton of it for free.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. In light of recent events with their shift in a business model, I'd also give them a B plus A minus. I would also like to point out that Crimson, last week, you had a really good point about noticing this shift in especially Blizzard's business model for potential games coming down the pipeline in the future, where they might be moving towards a free-to-play style and have the brunt of the cash earned come from microtransactions. So because StarCraft 2 and the StarCraft genre in general has been, or the game in general, has been well established. Like, people know this game by its name, and they've had a lot of success with it. It's a really well designed game, and they can quite frankly, they can charge what they want for it, and you know that you're going to get quality and you're going to get value out of it. So that's where I am on that.
I'll be honest. If say they did Warcraft 4 and they did a small campaign and made it free to play, and then gave you access to the online ladder, use map settings, and a co-op, and then you would buy the co-op commanders. And then every month and a half, they brought out another chunk of a campaign, like another set of little missions, a little bit of storyline, with the overarching story in their sights. They have a vision for an overarching story, and they piecemealed it out to me in $5, increments. I'd be okay with that, because first off, it creates a healthier game because a lot more people can jump in and play online, and it does still allow me to play through a campaign. Even though I'm paying it piecemeal, I'm probably going to end up paying more for it, but that's okay. I think games like StarCraft 2, Warcraft 4, I would be more than happy to pay a lot of money for a long campaign. So I think this is the way to go. I don't think some of their other games are doing it right, though.
And I also agree with that. And I think it would take a lot of pressure off of the developers on the front end, because if you have to design a complete game with a $60 price point, you need to make sure that you've got everything in order. And then you have to project it months out. You could have delays and all of that. So I think doing it this way doesn't mean, by all means, don't slack off, but it gives them a little bit more breathing room.
And a 40-hour campaign is hard. I mean, that takes years to make. Give me a nice 10-hour campaign that I pay $5 for. That's fine.
I have to agree and disagree on this, because it also depends on the game. Like, if something like Overwatch did this, where it's got like a 6-hour or maybe even a 10-hour single player / maybe co-op campaign, and then it gets pieced in by $5 DLCs later, I would be okay with that, because it is primarily a multiplayer game. But everybody wants to experience the story. For something like StarCraft, like Warcraft, that is heavily lore-based, heavily story-driven, having a 10-hour campaign for $30 or whatever, or even if it's free to play for 10 hours and then it comes in increments, that's not a lot of content for a story-driven game like that. So if I would rather pay $20, $30, $40 for a 20-hour campaign and then have $10 DLCs, because I'm kind of the mindset of, I still don't mind paying for a game. Like, I know that if they go to a free-to-play model, it's going to be a little bit different, and I think it could work by doing it that way, by doing a 10-hour free-to-play campaign and doing it that way. I just prefer, if I'm getting a story-driven game, that I'm getting that story-based content.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay. So that was StarCraft 2 and some of those RTSs. And the last one, I currently have not played at all. So somebody else is going to have to take the reins on this one.
You won't. Yeah, here I'll do this one, and you can do Heroes. Path of Exile. It is in fact, if Diablo ever decides to make Diablo 4, if they ever decide that they actually own the Diablo franchise, which would be great if they realized that.
Wait, who
I
makes
would love
Diablo?
for them to do something in this
Is
vein.
Diablo a game?
I thought it was Blizzard North, but I heard they're gone. So
Oh, okay. What's Diablo?
sorry, that was a low blow. I'm so sorry.
Is that one of those old games from like the olden days, from before the internet was invented or something?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
They used to do claymation. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
That's actually true, isn't it?
Yeah, Diablo. The first Diablo was actually
I heard that.
supposed to be a claymation game.
Go ahead.
So Path of Exile, what they do is, and they have an immersive campaign. I mean, their storyline in that game will take you a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it is massive, and especially with this new update where they went up to 10 acts. It's huge, and it's all free. What they do, so what they do charge you is they charge you for cosmetic armor sets. Now, they don't replace your armor, so it's not items. It's just transmogs. So it allows your character to look different, but never actually charge you for an actual item in the game. So there's no pay to win there. And then they charge you for storage.
Extra storage.
I would say
extra storage.
Yes, extra storage. I would say that this is easy for me, a B. If they didn't charge for storage, it would be an A to an S all the way. But because they don't have loot boxes, they are definitely above the C average. And I do think that they're cosmetic only. Now, my problem is some of the cosmetics can cost $150. That's one of the reasons why I keep it at a B instead of going A. Now, if they had more reasonable prices on some of those armor sets, definitely would become an A, because the storage part doesn't cost that much. You're looking at $20-$30. Bam, you're done. You don't have to buy it again. But unfortunately, some of those armors are $150 to. I mean, they have an armor set in there that's like $1,000.
Jesus fucking Christ! Are you serious?
Yeah, Yeah, no, they really do. I mean, it's insane. So some of them, and so it's definitely a B. It's a solid B.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. I don't think I've spent any money on the game, and I had an absolute blast with it. But I do encourage people to look at the extra storage options. Like, you get a pretty good sized storage chest, but that extra bit is pretty huge. Like, they don't just give you like, oh, here's this extra little tab that you can hold 4 items in. Like, it's a huge storage space that you get. And again, the cosmetic items, you don't fucking need them. But again, I have to agree, B, maybe B plus for me, just in the sense of that you have 10 acts that are totally free and you don't have to buy a damn thing for this game. So I would say probably B plus for me, just because it's so much content for free and you really don't have to buy the storage space if you don't want to. And the cosmetic stuff, while it looks awesome, you don't really need to be paying $1,000 for a fucking armor set. But I think that shit should drop in price, because it's hard to. And one tiny side note for the microtransactions: if you charge too much for your microtransactions, it is hard for people to be able to support you, because that's the whole point. Is the microtransactions are supposed to support the game to give them revenue to update the game and pay their employees to make new content. If you're charging $1,000 for a fucking armor set, people can't buy that realistically.
Right, which is why I give them a pass, because they do have armor sets that you pay $5 for and you're good.
Exactly.
The really expensive armor sets are, bounder packs.
I gotcha.
So
yeah, okay. So
yeah.
because there's cheap armor sets and there's enough stuff that you can buy, then it's not as bad.
And I know we didn't touch a lot on founder packs, but founder packs can go fuck themselves too.
Except for
But
Eternal.
I'm just saying,
Except for Eternal's founder pack, which was actually just straight up value.
because it's under $100.
No shit, and it gives you 2 boxes plus a whole bunch of other shit. But
it gives you your value back,
and then some. You
a lot of
actually
them
get
don't.
about, I think it was $50, and you get about $80 worth of content from it. So
a surprising founder pack that actually held its value for me was Armored Warfare. That was until, my.com bucked over Obsidian and fired them.
oh, goddamn.
But, before that, I mean, the game was great. Now you jump on and there's 10 people on the game now because my.com decided to fire Obsidian because they wanted a World of Tanks clone instead of something new and innovative. And, well, you know what? The community spoke and told them to go fuck themselves.
Good. Because they can go fuck themselves.
All right then.
RJ, what do you give Path to Exile now that we've ranted?
I honestly think I'm just going to abstain from this one because I have to experience it to kind of truly form my opinion. So I don't want to give an uninformed opinion. So I'm going to pass on this one.
That
sounds like a B to me.
Maybe we'll just say C+, nice average. On to Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to do this one? Do you want this one, Caleb?
I can go ahead and do this one.
Get you some.
Heroes of the Storm has a really odd microtransaction system because it went with the gem route. It didn't used to be. It used to be you just paid real money for whatever, and you can also pay in-game gold, which you earn from playing the game. And we'll get into that little tidbit in a minute. But they did move on to a different system. It now uses gems, shards, and gold. Gems are what you get from spending real money. Gold you get from playing the game and completing quests. And then shards are used for, you get them out of loot boxes. And loot boxes you can only obtain by spending real money or by leveling up characters. It's kind of tough for me because I've been playing it since before it went to that system, so I was already invested in it, so it didn't hit me as hard. But I think that they're trying to do a little too much with the microtransactions by going with it's so much. You've got the skins cost a different thing. You've got characters cost a different thing. It's kind of convoluted, and it feels like it can turn into a money sink. I haven't spent any money on loot boxes because I've been getting them from leveling up my characters. They don't really give you anything of terrible importance. It gives you skins and shards and stuff like that. But I do feel like Heroes, since they are releasing them quite often, it's like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks or something like that, that it does get pretty costly. Which the new ones are about $10, and unfortunately it takes way too long for you to get the gold in-game to buy anything, especially if you're playing just like Quick Match or versus AI. You're only getting like 25 gold per win or 50 gold per win, and a brand new character costs 15,000 gold. So it does try to push that incentive to pay real world money, but they do have the free rotation where they have several heroes free every single week. RJ, you've come in after 2.0 launched, once they started the loot box system. What do you think? What are your thoughts on how Heroes does their stuff?
Well, I think it's interesting because the broad topic is microtransactions, yet Heroes is a game that has loot boxes. They are, as you mentioned, they are purely aesthetic. They have nothing to do. With how well your character performs in the game. It's just a look. So to me, and the other things you can get out of the loot boxes are different emojis, different banners, different all this other BS. Yeah, that's cute and all, but to me, if I'm playing this game truly as free to play, then I'm not. That doesn't bother me. So that's that. Now the cool thing is you can on occasion get a hero from a loot box, which is cool.
Yes, and that is something that is kind of nice, because you can get them from ranking up your characters, the free-to-play characters, and then you can get a hero to call your own. There is one thing that I do want to point out, is that in regards to Overwatch's system of everything is from a loot box to Heroes' system, where you can buy stuff with money, specific stuff that you want, or you can buy skins, or so on and so forth. It definitely adds a bit more to it, where you don't feel like you're just gambling all the time.
Right, yeah, definitely. So from my free-to-play aspect, the way that I've been playing this game is I play a champion for during the free-to-play week. I get them to level 5. I get that in-game currency, and then I can do that for several characters that I like playing, and then, oh look, I can now buy one of the ones that I actually want to play. So with the in-game currency. That's how I've been playing it. I have not spent any money on gems. I started the game with a decent amount, and I've only spent the gems to purchase Ana, the hero that I really wanted, and I didn't have in-game currency to do it. So I'm still riding that free-to-play train. You can also spend gems to buy the stim packs, which give you bonus in-game rewards, be it gems.
XP
yeah,
gold.
Exactly. Gems, shards, what have you. So having that engine of you need to pay money to get the stim boost is... I kind of don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of nice, but when you are the only one in the party who doesn't have a stim boost going, it's sort of like, well, it's going to take forever to grind this character to level 5, which is irritating if I don't have a lot of time to dump into it.
I'll help you with this. The feeling that you get of feeling the need for a stem boost is shit. It's fucking garbage. And I hate any time that a game goes, hey, we're going to allow you to pay us money to get somewhere faster.
Right.
So that is my biggest complaint of Heroes of the Storm, is the fucking stem packs.
Yep. Now, a game, and this is going to be a very brief interjection here. The one game that I have played where this mechanic is different is For Honor. You can spend in-game currency to get that stim pack equivalent, and it can just kind of feed on itself. But the difference between Heroes of the Storm and For Honor's microtransactions, in my opinion, the microtransactions in For Honor don't really matter also, because you just buy a season pass. The only thing that you get is some exclusive content that doesn't really matter, and you get early access to champions. But if you play the game enough and acquire enough in-game currency, then you can just buy the champions that you want to play. And they only come out, you only get 2, basically a quarter. So, in calendar time. So that's that. So anyway, back to Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, that's kind of where I am with that. Like, for me, I can still play this game free to play, and all of the microtransactions really just give you aesthetics that I don't really care about. I care about playing the game with my friends, having a good time, and that's that. That's all that I need to fulfill that urge. So that's me. So, Crimson, what are your thoughts?
You fuck around.
Okay. You ready? You ready? I'll give you my rating right now. It's a D. Heroes of the Storm is a straight D for me. It is below average in every way as it stands right now. Now, could Heroes of the Storm be a B? Easily. Here's how they could do it. Get rid of fucking gems. Simple.
Literally could
Get
not
rid of the
agree with you
gems.
more.
Get rid of the gems. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that I absolutely hate about Heroes of the Storm loot boxes. Okay, now I have bought loot boxes. I did play before 2.0. I had every character and almost every skin. Here's the thing I hate about these fucking loot boxes. Okay, I want this skin. Okay, say it's the Crimson skin for Sonya, right? Okay, well, I can't go buy it with real money now. Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck you. I should be able to buy it with real money.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'll go buy some loot boxes. Okay, how much would a skin cost me? Oh, what, like $10? Okay, I'll go buy $10 worth of loot boxes. Click, click, click. Crap. Click, 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 click. Crap. Click, click, click. Crap. Click, click, click. Oh, a legendary. Oh, I already had it. Oh, well, hey, I got 40 fucking shards. Eat a dick! Fuck you! With your 40 fucking shard bullshit. Okay, click, click, click. Oh, look, 40 more shards. Another legendary that I already had. Click, click, click. Oh, epic. I already had that. Click, click, click. Click, click, click. Click, click, click. Into the... Okay, well, maybe I got enough shards to go buy the skin I wanted. Not even fucking halfway there. Fuck you. Get rid of gems. Allow me just to straight up buy shards. Period. Put it in your market. Here's $10. I bought shards. I have enough shards to go buy a skin I want. That is a huge fucking deal, the fact that I have to open up loot boxes, pray to RNG Jesus, and maybe get the item I want. And I'm going to let RG step in here for a moment. I'm going to just be... But I'm not done. But
So
RJ,
it sounds like you have a problem with... Well, you just have a problem with the loot box concept in general. You have to pay real money to get random content that half the time isn't even necessary. Right? Okay, so
Correct.
There you go.
I hate loot boxes. I hate loot boxes. I do not like gambling in general. I don't like the slot machine mechanic that loot boxes represent. I hate everything about it, but I'm willing to be okay with loot boxes if I have the alternative to buy the items inside the loot boxes at a higher price.
Also,
And skip the gambling aspect.
Also, I feel like loot boxes aren't a terrible idea in a game. For instance, let's take Eternal's way of doing things, where you can consistently get a pack of cards every single day. Or you can get cards from a pack of cards from doing this event, or doing these challenges, or doing whatever. But for things like Overwatch, for things, games like that have a loot box mechanic, they don't have consistent ways to get loot boxes each day.
Yeah, and the thing with card packs, that comes down to the game design at a fundamental level. With card packs, you have the potential for everything in that pack to be useful. And if it's not, then you can turn it into shift stones or dust or what have you.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's another thing that these loot box systems don't do well, is that if I get a shitty skin that I don't want in Overwatch, I should be able to scrap it for gold and then buy the Reaper skin I want, or the McCree skin that I want. But there's no way to get gold except from opening loot boxes. And you kind of like how Heroes of the Storm.
And your return.
Yeah, the return is
your
shit.
return investment is crap.
Same,
That's the big
same
problem.
with Heroes of the Storm.
So,
you get a legendary skin that you already have, and it gives you a small amount of shards.
Yeah. Get rid of the fucking gems. Just get rid of the gems. I'll keep the gold for reroll and loot boxes. Mm-hmm. Allow me to buy shards, so that way I can bypass loot boxes if I want and go directly to the skin that I want.
How about
if you did that, it would be a B to an A.
How about if they just say that everything has a literal dollar amount, and just do away with the shards, do away from the gems, and just have two things: real world money, cash dollars, and gold. Everything has a gold price and a dollar price.
And when you get duplicates, it turns into gold at a good rate, not a 3-to-1 rate, not a 10-to-1 rate.
Half.
No, make it a half, a 2-to-1 rate, and you know what? You're fine.
Yep.
You are perfectly fine. But I hate the fact that I can't go in there and buy that Jaina skin that I want. Yep. I have to spend hundreds of dollars on random slot machines.
Or level up 10 different characters to level 5 and get all those loot boxes and hope that you get either the shards or the skin. And
so let me repeat that. spend hundreds of dollars on random slot machine.
Especially since because all of your characters are like level 6 and 7. So
yeah, exactly. Now, and this, don't get me wrong, I love Heroes. I don't really have a problem with the game, although it does turn me off from spending real money. Yeah. But there is a game, a Blizzard game.
Can I give mine? Can we give our reviews on Heroes before we dive down the rabbit hole?
Jump in.
What's our rating?
Into the shit show.
Yeah.
That is
to me, Heroes of the Storm gets a solid C minus because, you know, from a business standpoint, if I am able to play the game free to play, but I'm choosing not to buy I'm choosing to not participate in the microtransaction, and I have no incentive to participate in the microtransaction, then that is a failed application of the business model. And I can just get by with it. Now it's getting a C because it's still free to play and I can enjoy it. But from a business modeling standpoint, it's definitely getting a D minus. But yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, I think I have to give it a solid C. I feel like it was a solid B before they went to 2.0 and did the loot box system, because you could buy anything. You could buy the skins. They were expensive. They were like $750 for some of the like epic skins or whatever, but you could buy them. And
I prefer that.
I prefer that model.
And
too.
Not every new skin was legendary.
Yeah, that costs 2,600 shards or some shit like that, which is damn near impossible.
Every 2 weeks. Oh, here's 10 new legendary. There's more legendary skins than there are freaking common or uncommon or rare.
Well,
and that's the other thing, is that they're adding a higher price point in shards and in rarity to every new item that comes out.
Now, I think personally, it also comes down to that quality, because Blizzard makes some amazing cinematics and has some really good in-game looking content, but I mean, I'm not going to lie, I can't really tell the difference between a bunch of the skins between a bunch of the different characters in Heroes of the Storm. Now, to also justify paying that much to get to that point to potentially get one. Now, where compared to League of Legends, they put a lot of time and effort into their skins. You can very clearly tell a difference between the different skins for a different character. And I've gotten to the point in League of Legends where I've bought 3 to 4, if not all, of the different skins for a single champion, because they all look really good, and to me they're worth it, and I'm willing to spend that $5 to $10, that whatever the conversion is, to get that skin. So there's that aspect of quality is coming into play here. So okay, that's it. I'm done with Heroes of the Storm. Let's
yeah, but you can't tell me that this Tychus in swim trunks is 800 shards, and literally the one in him in a Speedo is 24,000 shards with 3 different color variations.
Yep.
And you're randomly going to get that out of a loot box, and it took him more work to put his junk on the front of him? No, it didn't. They strictly money grab for junk.
Yep. They
junk grab. That was a junk grab.
A junk grab. They completely put a higher price point with very little effort, literally for a dick bulge in a Speedo. So I do really agree on how the microtransactions work for Heroes, because again, they also split the skin colors into other individual skins. So you're sitting there going, oh, well, hey, I got the fucking Tychus and a Speedo skin, but I was actually really wanting the like black and gray Speedo. Well, too bad, you're fucked. You got the legendary Speedo skin that's pink or whatever color it was, but you before you paid $7.50 for a skin or however much, depending on the rarity of the skin, and you literally got access to all three of the color variants. I miss that. I don't mind paying a little bit of cash for a skin that I want for a character that I play all the time, and have full access to 3 different skins, basically, in today's world.
And you know what? I'm okay with some skins being legendary. Like that Diablo, Prime Diablo, that should have been legendary. That is right there what I expect a legendary skin to be. It's got a completely different framework.
Yeah, and
what I'm not okay with is freaking the Mad Max Garage. Fuck off. That should not have been it was only legendary because it was a new character and you wanted a cash grab.
Yeah. And to point that out, grab that junk. And to reiterate something that RJ was saying about how League of Legends does their skins, where each skin is drastically different. Well, we don't have a lot of primeval Diablo type skins. That, you sit there and you have bulky Diablo from Diablo 2, and then you have the primeval one, which is so drastically different. Kind of like the Uther skin, where, the Sulfurous Uther is drastically different from his base skin. That's the kind of stuff I don't mind coming into the game. But when you have 3 to 5 colors of a variant for one specific skin, and they're all,
of a Jaina,
and they're all the same skin, and it's just flooding it with just the same types of skin with very minuscule changes.
How about you make the skin, and when we go to select the skin, at the bottom it has 3 different color, squares, and you click on the color you want it to be.
Yep. That'd be nice. RJ, I think you're chomping at the bit over there for something.
I was actually trying to just get the train back on course, because we seem to have started talking about skins in general.
Oh no, this crazy train is off the track!
It's
the reason why we're...
Yeah, I understand that it's all still relevant.
Is because... yeah. But
crazy train.
I feel like the problem is that the companies that are putting out these microtransactions are taking these skins and putting such a high price point on them as a microtransaction, and then not really putting in a lot of effort into it. So they're expecting us to pay shitloads of money to get a skin that's not really that great. Like, it's not
right.
Random microtransaction. I would be completely okay if it was, I want this red Jaina skin. Here's $5.
Yeah,
shut up and take my money. Oh no, here's $500 for loot box slot machine. Ching. Might as well go to fucking Japan and play Plinko.
But it's still,
you probably have a better chance.
Yeah, it's still all relevant to that microtransaction, and just really coming back to that quality, and them putting too much of an emphasis on it when it's, in my opinion, not good quality anyway. So, but I think we should move on to
the games that don't do it well.
Yeah,
the bad one. Yeah. Think about that. We haven't even got to the bad ones yet.
But
are you guys ready for this?
One tiny addendum that I feel like the point that we're all trying to drive home really is, we want better. If we are getting to see this microtransaction theme in all of these games, that if you're going to do microtransactions, give us quality.
We deserve better.
I agree. As loyal customers who are throwing money at these people, we expect better, and I think that we should get better. So, on to the ones that do this like shit. Let's talk Overwatch. Crimson, why don't you take us in?
So you know that thing that I was talking about where I don't like lottery and gambling, and I'd like to just give you $10 for the thing I want?
Yeah, that's Overwatch.
Yeah. Overwatch tells you to go fuck yourself and pray to RNGesus, because that's all it is. It is a fucking shit show, and it gets an F for me.
Yep.
Period. The only saving grace to Overwatch is it costs $40 and they give me free characters.
Yes.
But the loot box is crap. And the one thing that saves the loot box is that you don't need any of it.
Yes.
You don't need any of it, but how they do it is so shitty that it just hurts my soul to the depths of my core. It's like, and the fact that it's like, oh, I open these loot boxes, I might get a legendary. Oh, it's a legendary I already got. I get 20 gold.
Yeah, it feels like it. You get like, I think you get 1,000 gold for a legendary, and it costs 3,000 to get one of the new legendaries.
No, you get like 400 gold, and it costs 3,000.
Can I ask a question? What do you use gold for in Overwatch?
To buy other skins and to buy it's to buy any of the stuff. So like voice lines, highlight intros, skins.
So it's it's the in-game currency. Okay.
That you cannot get any other way other than getting it from a loot box.
Okay, well,
yeah, and having
so in that sense,
from a duplicate or a money box.
Yeah. So in that sense, like, I think we've belabored Crimson's point a lot, and I totally agree with it. But for me, with Overwatch, like, again, I'm there to play the game, and I had to buy into the game. But to me, again, with Overwatch, everything from that loot box is purely aesthetic. And again, from a business standpoint, I personally don't have a reason to invest in the microtransaction for what I'm getting from it. So for me, in all honesty, Overwatch is getting a D strictly from a business standpoint.
Well, from a business standpoint, they got your $40. That's what they were after. That's all you're using. It's $40. That's how the game is. But there are whales, so they throw in the loot box for those whales. Yep. I'm not that fat, but I'm getting, I've spent a lot of money on loot boxes, motherfuckers. And so to bring Overwatch up, all they have to do is allow me to buy gold.
Yeah.
Period.
I feel like that would be fine.
Allow me to buy loot boxes or allow me to buy gold.
Yep.
Done.
Yep. I agree.
They would get an A.
I mean, I don't think it would bring. I don't think it would bring mine up to an A because, in all honesty, with that game, also everything is happening so fast. Like the skins don't really bother me. Like to me, I think in a first-person shooter aspect, the skins don't really matter so much when I can't see them myself. Now, in a third-person, setting, like at certain parts in Destiny 2, yeah, that's fine. I take great pride in my skins. Oh, and also, yeah, you're right. In the play of the game, dear God, I better look really badass when I somehow get this play of a game with a Junkrat jumping into the middle of 3 team members. Great, whoop the effing do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Plus, I do just like the stare. That's nice too.
And I actually do have to agree on that. I feel like it gets a solid D for me as well because it should get less from me because it is a game that is charging you $40 to play it, and then all of the cosmetics are also loot boxes. But the game itself is really good, and you don't need any of those loot boxes. So I feel like, again, as you were saying, from a business standpoint, it's not that big of a deal. But I feel like from a microtransaction, specifically just the microtransaction standpoint, it's definitely an F. Like, they fucked up the microtransactions. And part of it is because they go, hey, guys, we're having a Halloween event. You have 2 weeks to get these fucking skins. Yep, and then they're gone until next year. And again, as you were saying, they don't matter as much because the only thing that you can really see in the game is your hands and arms and the weapon.
But I want them.
Yeah, and I do too. They're not mandatory, and they're...
But I want them.
Yeah, and I feel like the people who do want them should be able to buy them.
Yeah, I want them.
Yeah. And that's kind of the point, is that it discourages people from buying loot boxes because, again, you're just not going to get what you want.
Now, I will say the one thing that Overwatch doesn't do is what our next game does. We ready to move on to this next one?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm going to take silence as a yes. Next one is Battlefront. Now, we did say that they did turn off their loot boxes because, well, so much feedback from this. But Battlefront has a loot box system too. Takes about 3, 4, 5 games to get a loot box. And they put skills in their loot boxes.
Why? Why would you do this?
They literally put progression into
That's dumb.
So here's how it works. I'm going to use Boba Fett as an example. And so Boba Fett has a backpack that, a jetpack. So you could get the copper level jetpack skill. Yeah, I did say copper level jetpack skill, which allows him, when using his jetpack, he takes 25% less damage. Now, if you're lucky, you might get the silver jetpack skill, which when using the jetpack skill will allow you to take 50% less damage. Now, if you spend a lot of money and you're really rich, you might get the gold level skill, which allows him to take 100% less damage while using his jetpack skill.
Okay.
Go ahead, Caleb.
I have a question and then a real big grievance. But first off, 100% less damage?
Yep.
What the fuck? But okay, the other question is, can you get, if you're real lucky, if you're rubbing the lamp and you're real lucky, can you get the gold one first, or do you have to unlock the copper and then the silver and then the gold?
If you rub RNG Jesus's,
sweaty ball sack.
Not work appropriate.
Okay. There we go. I was trying to think of a more PC way to say it.
Not work appropriate. We already threw that shit out the fucking window.
Yes, if you get lucky, you can get the gold level one and then have a huge advantage versus everybody else. And here's the thing is you're in the match and you got people fighting over who's going to be Boba Fett because one is saying, well, I have 100% less, damage when I'm in jetpack mode. And the other one's like, well, I have a 10-to-1 kill death ratio with Boba Fett and I don't need that. So I should be Boba Fett. Fuck off. How about no. Oh my God, you stupid, ignorant motherfucker.
This sounds like a fucking nightmare. This is so stupid.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse.
What? Okay.
They also have in-game currency. So say you want to play as Darth Vader. Who doesn't want to play as Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker? Okay, Darth Vader. They charge so much in-game currency for Darth Vader. You can either buy it. Yes, you can either buy the in-game currency and get Darth Vader. Or I believe what it comes out to be, you could grind for 4 fucking weeks to buy Darth Vader. It will take you 4 weeks to get Darth Vader with in-game currency. Or you could just buy them for $50.
That's dumb. That's also dumb. If I'm wanting to spend time, I don't have enough time as it is to keep up with all the games that I want. And if I have to grind for 4 weeks to get that specific piece of content, I don't need it. Not worth my time.
And it's just one character. It's just one character.
I was just complaining that, hey, they don't give us the option to buy this. Now, here's EA giving me the option to buy it, but they've set the price way too high. Yeah. You just can't do that. You gotta keep it in a range that people can afford, because it's not like you're going to jump into the game as Darth Vader. You got to do stuff in the game and power up your super and stuff like that, or at least that's how Battlefield 1 was. Battlefront 1, Unfortunately, I don't know because I'm not going to play Battlefront 2. Nope. I've just literally watched the news and watched people play this and did my research as much as I could. And this is ridiculous. Now, they have brought down the price of these characters by half. But then they went ahead and,
have the reward system.
The money. Yeah, the money that you gain in game is now also halved.
So they didn't actually do anything. They actually just incentivized people or gave it an easier chance for people to buy it with real money. Like, they still fucked over the people that grind.
Yeah, you just lowered the threshold, but you didn't actually fix the problem.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a way to make it look better on the outside looking in,
and
than actually making it better.
And to actually drive this point home, this is a $60 game.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I
This
actually
is
have
a brand new quote unquote AAA title. Go ahead.
So I have to spend $60 to get this game up front, and I've got in-game content locked away in a gambling box. All right.
A lot.
Yeah.
All
of
right.
in-game content.
Tons of in-game content that's locked behind both loot boxes and a $25 price point now per character.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Something
out.
like
That if it was okay,
So
I can't even. Like, I literally can't even with this game
can't even.
because I wanted to play Battlefront 1 because I was a huge Battlefront fan back in the day when it was the old school.
And I own Battlefront 1.
And
it's
I've
fun.
heard that
It's
really
good. It's a good game.
But as soon as they announced Battlefront 2, I saw the cinematics for it. I saw a lot of the stuff for it. I'm like, this game looks fucking amazing. I am totally getting this. As soon as I heard about this system, I was out. I was so fucking out. I was so out that I made a Wile E. Coyote-sized fucking hole in the microtransaction wall. I'm out. You will not be... Even if this game was $5 on a sale, I would not buy this shit. This is fucking garbage.
Nope. Yeah, I wouldn't even play this game if it was free to play now.
Nope.
And you
Nope. Nope.
and you know it's bad when Crimson says that statement. Oh my gosh.
Because I play a lot of free to play games. Yeah, no, and I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Like, nerd.
Yep.
There was no way they were going to get my money after I saw this stuff. There's no way.
You know what? To quote Simon Cowell, it's a no for me.
It's a Z rating for me.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. It is a fucking Z rating for me. There is not a rating low enough for this because there is no limit to how low EA and Activision to an extent will go when it comes to microtransactions and just plain fucking their customers over. But this is the darkest and most drastic downturn for microtransactions and the gaming industry. And I hope that we do not see more of this because it actually turns me off of new games.
And it's EA. Fuck EA. I mean, seriously, did they get pissed off that Dead Space 3 doesn't make enough money because nobody wanted to buy their stupid ass fucking transactions? So they close that studio and then go and buy Respawn and thinking that they're going to put in microtransactions into Respawn games now too. It's like, no, fuck you. Quit doing this bullshit. How about you as a company just die?
Just go bankrupt. Go away.
Yeah, that sounds like okay. Yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say there, but it really sounds like that is the quintessence. I don't even know what to put. I don't even know how to describe it.
You can't even wrap your mind around the nonsense.
I mean, I don't even
like that's the problem.
I don't even know what to say. Like, it definitely is getting a Z from me. Like, that just seems like bad business practice. But as we say as the office, apparently EA has fuck you money. So, oh gosh, I just said okay. Damn it.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
You said a bad word.
So, whatever.
But right.
Now,
it feels like they just don't care.
Right. Yeah.
They don't. They're just trying to get money out of people any way they can.
Now,
I hate to end the podcast.
Well,
on
I actually
kind
have. I do want to say something. It just came back to me. Fuck! I just lost it. Damn it! Go. Somebody else go.
let me run with something real quick.
I
actually want to say one thing about EA because this was actually a very interesting thing in regards to microtransactions. They released a game. I believe it was last year. It was called Mass Effect Andromeda, being a huge Mass Effect nerd that I am, and Mass Effect 2 being my absolute favorite game of all time, I bought it. I pre-ordered it. I bought it. I beat it before they even fixed all the bugs. I loved it. No regrets. They actually came out and said, we are not releasing any DLC content for this game. There are no microtransactions. There's like some co-op microtransactions, like you can buy characters, whatever. Nobody fucking cares. But there's no DLC. The whole story, it runs its course, it completes, it ends. Boom. And I wanted DLC content because I loved the game so much. But when they said, hey, we're not doing DLCs, we're just going to, that story ended, we're going to pick up with Andromeda 2 or whatever. I'm cool with that. And that was one of the few times that EA surprised me by going, we're not going to nickel and dime you guys. You know, you got the full fucking 60-hour story, 60 hours plus story. And it came to a conclusion. It left it open for the next one. We'll release the next one later.
And guess what? I'm willing to buy that game. Yeah. But let's see if RJ...
I wrote it down this time. So, okay. So you mentioned in the news that's started this whole microtransactions discussion that it sounded like enough people complained about how bad the system was that they temporarily are turning off that mechanic. Now, does that mean that you can still get that in-game content with the Boba Fett jetpack or what have you, or does that lock that content? All right, never mind.
It locks that content, and what it really does... Well, what it really is, oh shit, people are talking shit about our game right before Christmas. Yeah. Grandmas aren't going to go out and buy this game for their kid. We better do something for now. Fuck you. You know what? I have a message for you, EA. Fuck off and die.
Yeah, let's.
I actually have a message for EA as well, and I'm polishing off an old gem from Rick and Morty. Actually, get your shit together, get it all together, and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you got to take it somewhere, take it to the shit store and sell it, or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just got to get it together.
Well. On that note, it sounds like. Do folks have anything else that they want to add to that particular topic of discussion? Okay. So I think, as we've seen, that we've. Go ahead.
No, just as gaming companies, just do better. Like, I'm not saying that as a joke or a blanket statement. Just, we've seen games come out of these studios that were fucking amazing and that I would buy again. But they're not. They're going down a really bad direction. And I just want to say to all of them, do better. We have had you guys' back. We've been supporters for all of you guys, all the developers, all the publishers. We have been loyal fans. We have pre-ordered. We have spent the $60. We've been fucked over on day one DLCs and day one patches. Do better. We deserve better as consumers, and we deserve better as fans. So get your shit together and take it to the shit museum.
Yep. I would have to agree with that. We've sort of run the gambit of what microtransactions are, how they are done well with particular things, and then run to the opposite end of the spectrum of how they are done poorly. And really, I just want to build off of what Caleb said. And, you can do better by having smart business practices, but also not ruining your game. Listen to your fans. Listen to the folks. Listen to us. Listen to what we said, what we are willing to spend our money on. And if you find that sweet spot and walk that fine line, you can make bank off of microtransactions, because with the extension that microtransactions gives you over the life cycle of a game, you can make more money than the old business model of just paying for the game and calling it a day. People want to spend money for that content. So just look for that fine line and listen to the gamers, because they're the ones that you're selling it to. Got him, coach.
That's all I gotta say.
Oh, that's just perfect. Oh, that couldn't have been better, to be perfectly honest.
Yep. Okay, well, I think, do we have any closing thoughts on microtransactions in general? Because I think we've belabored this one for a while.
I'm good.
Yeah, go back to DLCs and expansion packs.
Yep, there you go. Caleb, you got anything? Awesome.
I'm good.
Well, we were planning on talking about Destiny this week, but it sounds like we definitely got our discussions worth out of this. So, aside from the Rant Fest, I hope we brought up a lot of good discussion points and really dove into the monster that is microtransactions, where we started and where we're going in the future. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week for Diablo 2 and Diablo 2. Destiny 2.
What's Diablo 2?
I know, right? So next week we'll definitely touch on some of our experiences with Destiny 2 and hopefully seeing some of this content there coming down on the list there. So again, thank you guys for listening. You can always check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com and do keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2mediocregamers, and come by and hang out with us in our Discord channel at discord.mediocregamers.com. Swing by YouTube, check us out, watch our videos, give us a like, leave comments. We love your feedback. And you can also find a link on our Facebook page. And yeah, all that good stuff. We are on Google Play and we are on iTunes. So check us out, rate us, do your thing. So until next time, I'm RJ.
I'm Caleb.
I'm the Rant Man Crimson.
We are Mediocre Gamers, and get out there and play some games.